An alien monster is working on a woman's body. The woman can only look at her husband. The experiment is complete. A beam of light emanates from the woman's abdomen. The woman's body immediately turns to dust. Then the alien monster approaches the man. It unfastens an electronic bracelet, places it beside the man and plunges its lightsaber into the man's abdomen. The intense pain caused the man to pull out his lightsaber and slash at the alien monster. The man got up, but accidentally took the alien monster's bracelet with him. The alien monster was badly injured, so the man had a chance to escape. He was in a trance and soon passed out. The man's name is Jack. When he woke up, he found himself in the Gobi Desert. He then traveled to a nearby town. A kind priest stitched up his wounds. Suddenly, a bullet was fired into the house. It turned out to be the town's famous rich kid, who was playing a trick. He wouldn't pay for his drinks and threatened his boss with a gun. The priest couldn't stand it and came out to stop him. The rich boy was so arrogant that he held up his hat and demanded money from the onlookers. He came up to Jack and Jack kicked him in the face. Jack then turned and walked away, and the angry rich boy pointed his gun at Jack. He didn't dare kill anyone, so he fired one shot, hitting a federal deputy who was watching. The sheriff arrives with his men, and the rich kid realizes he's in trouble and gives up. The sheriff takes Jack and the rich kid back to the station. Back at the station, the sheriff realizes that Jack is on the first page of the wanted list. The sheriff can only leave it to a federal judge to deal with this kind of criminal. So Jack and Richie are put in a wagon and taken to the federal courthouse. Just then, the rich boy's father, Wood, came down with his men to rob them. The sheriff didn't give in to Wood. At that moment, a bright light appeared in the sky and Jack's bracelet began to flash. Before anyone could understand what was happening, several UFOs suddenly attacked and the town was in chaos. The UFOs also released metal chains that trapped the townspeople. At that moment, Jack's bracelet activated and he blew the carriage away. The rich boy was also rescued by his father, but unfortunately he was caught by the chains and dragged to the airship before he could get far. Faced with the incoming airships, Jack decided to attack directly, activating his bracelet and destroying one of the airships with a single shot. The crowd gathered around to get a closer look at the alien. Nobody knew what it was in this day and age of no electronics. Suddenly there was a scream from the room down the street and a monstrous figure flashed by. When the crowd arrived, all they saw was a large footprint on the ground. The next day they went out together, following the footprints in search of the monster. Faced with an unknown monster, they could only work together for the time being. In the evening it started to rain, so they hid in an abandoned cruise liner to rest. Jack took the opportunity to tend to his wounds. Ella came in, saw Jack's wounds and wanted to help him. Just then, Jack's bracelet lit up again and the dog heard the noise and ran over, but he screamed a few times and then stopped moving. The boy was frightened and hid in the corner as an alien monster appeared behind him. The boy thought he was unnoticed, but then the monster appeared in front of him. It stared at the boy, its abdominal armor opened and two monstrous hands reached for his face. The priest fired at the beast, and it turned and pounced on the priest, stabbing him in the chest with its sharp claws. Jack and his men arrive on the scene and fire several shots, but they do no damage to the monster. It is only when Jack activates his bracelet that the monster escapes. The next day, the people continue to leave, but do not go far, as some alien fighters come towards them again, and a barrage of bombs is fired at them, and a number of people are captured. An alien ship came towards Jack and Ella. Jack dodged the chains and hit the alien ship hard with one shot, but he didn't expect the alien ship to turn around and capture Ella. Jack rode after them immediately. He jumped onto the alien ship on the cliff. Then he fired a cannon into the cabin. They both fell into the lake with the ship. Ella was eventually rescued and they climbed to the shore together. Suddenly the monster appears behind them. Jack activates his armband and kills the monster. Ella's injuries are too severe for her to survive. Jack has just rejoined the group when they are surrounded by a group of Indians. The Indians think that Jack and the others lured the aliens here and set fire to Ella's body. But suddenly, with a loud bang, Ella, who had just died, was reborn from the fire. She stepped out of the flames, leaving everyone in the crowd stunned. It turned out that Ella was also an alien, and her planet had been destroyed by these monsters. These monsters are here for Earth's gold, and this time they're just a handful of scouts. They have captured humans to study the weaknesses of Earthlings, and if they succeed in their research, the human race will face extinction. What's important now is to find the alien base and destroy it before the alien army arrives. Only Jack knows where the alien base is, but he lost his memory after escaping from the alien base. But the Indian chiefs said they could help Jack regain his memory. Jack drank a bowl of the chief's special herbal medicine and soon passed out. A hummingbird flew in front of him and Jack turned his head to see his dead wife. Then he remembered the whole process of her murder and the location of the alien base. At dawn, the team arrived at the alien base. The Cowboys didn't know what to do when they were confronted with this walled-in base. Jack rode off on his horse and everyone thought he was running away. In fact, when Jack regained his memory, he remembered his gang of robbers. It wasn't long before he joined up with Wood and a few dozen bandits. They split into two groups, the chief and his clan occupying the high ground, while Jack climbed up to the alien base and threw a few packs of explosives into the base. A huge explosion sent a huge fireball over the base. The alien monsters came out and both sides immediately began to fight. The alien monsters are superior to the Cowboys, both physically and with their weapons, but the Cowboys have to keep fighting to buy time for Jack and the others. Jack and Ella sneak into the base through an underground tunnel. Inside the alien base, a large amount of gold has been melted down and sucked into the storage tanks. In a nearby hole, the captured inhabitants stare up like puppets on strings. Jack just glances up and immediately falls into the illusion as well. But Ella's shot at the lights brought everyone to their senses. A large number of alien monsters are racing towards the town. Ella rescues the hostages, while Jack guards the cave entrance and uses his bracelet to kill the incoming monsters. After the hostages have been rescued, Ella suddenly runs towards the base and Jack chases after her. Outside the base, the tragic battle continues. The people are not afraid to die with the monsters, but they did not retreat either. A monster found a little boy on the hillside. The boy was scared and rushed to hide in a cave. Luckily, the exit of the cave was small, so the monster couldn't get in. But the monster, lying in the cave, opened his armor and extended his claws towards the boy. At the moment of crisis, the little boy saw the beating heart of the monster. He took the dagger and stabbed it in, so easily killed an alien monster. At this point, Ella wanted Jack's bracelet to blow up the core of the alien base, but Jack tried several times but couldn't get it off. Ella kisses him and the bracelet comes off automatically. It turns out that a simple distraction is all that's needed. Ella climbed up the hole and Jack threw the bracelet to her, but as soon as Ella entered the cave closed by itself. Jack was also attacked by alien monsters. Without his bracelet, Jack was beaten. He hid in the alien's lab, and suddenly a monster grabbed him by the neck and pinned him down on the lab table. It turns out to be the same monster he injured at the beginning, and it seems to recognize Jack. Just as the monster was about to strangle Jack, Wood suddenly killed him and fired several shots at the monster. Jack also picked up his gun and continued shooting at the monster. The monster was knocked back and accidentally fell onto the gold furnace. Jack immediately broke the storage device above. A large amount of gold solution poured on the monster. It will be scalded to death. At this time, the alien base is about to start. The earth began to shake. The two rushed to evacuate. The engine ignited. The alien base rose into the air. By this time, Ella had already arrived at the core of the base, and at the same time, she was surrounded by a large number of alien monsters. She didn't hesitate to activate her bracelet's self-destruct system. The huge alien ship exploded in midair, and Jack knew that his Ella couldn't come back, as endless amounts of gold fell from the exploded ship.